Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Bill Gallagher, who is a business coach and master facilitator with over 30 years of entrepreneurial and executive experience. So, Bill, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.
I appreciate it. And out of interest, whereabouts are you right now?
Well, I'm outside of San Francisco in the Oakland Hills, if you know the area.
Fantastic, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I just want to share a little bit more about you before we do get started. So, Bill has spent the last 15 years coaching and training others in leadership and performance. He now coaches leaders and teams across more than 25 cities in 11 countries and is the host of the Scaling Up Business podcast. The title for today's episode is How to Scale with the Leadership Flywheel. And Bill is going to show us how to do that in just under 7 minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So good luck with that. Question number one today is, who are your ideal clients?
So I work with people who have huge ambition, right? They want to change the world. They want to hit 1 billion or more. They want to dominate their industry. They have something they think is really important.
Fantastic. And these people, ambitious, obviously, what's the biggest challenge that they face on that journey?
It's funny. So people hire me as a scaling coach to make the scaling up process easy, fast, and fun. But the real challenge is themselves, is the person in the mirror. So they have to evolve and invent kind of a new type of leader to become, because the leadership that they have at this point is what's gotten them to this stage of their business.
Got it. And I guess if they ignored that step, what impact would that have on their aspirations?
Well, what we tend to do is thwart or sabotage the results, right? The company starts to scale up, people on the team start doing things, and then we kind of pull it down to a level that's more consistent with the way that we've operated as a leader up till now.
Got it.
Marshall Goldsmith is famous for saying that what got you here won't get you there, and it's especially true with companies trying to scale.
Okay, thanks. Great advice. And what other advice would you give somebody who is starting out on this journey and wants to really scale to that next level?
So, like I said, you've got to look in the mirror. But I think the key thing is to start with the end in mind, to think about kind of the end of your career, the end of your life. What would you like to say about you? There's a style and an approach to leadership that's not there now. And then there are certain aspects of leadership that you lean on more than others and neglect some. So we want to figure out the kind of leader we want to be at the end of our journey. And then we want to then develop across these 4 disciplines of the leadership flywheel.
Great. And can you just jump into those 4 disciplines quickly now, out of interest?
Yeah, sure. So really quickly, the first one is about inspiration, right? We want to be able to inspire people, to leave them with a positive, like, emotional state. We want to have them feeling good, inspired, lit up, like moved by something.
Yeah.
And that we do with vision, with a bold promise, with courage, with vulnerability, a variety of things like that. And the next one is engage. So people are lit up. Now they have to hear the opportunity for themselves personally. And we do that by inviting them or asking them to do business with us, to buy from us, to work for us, to partner with us, like whatever.
Sure.
So they say yes, and they start working on or doing something. And then the next skill that logically follows from that is planning. So I've said, yes, I start in on something. I've got to plan, and I've got to replan and get good at planning versus having a plan. Like Churchill and Eisenhower are both famous for saying that the act of planning is priceless, but the plan itself is kind of worthless.
Got it.
So plans go wrong, and then the next thing that we immediately go into is coaching. So when the plans go wrong and we're off and we're replanning, we get discouraged and we want to quit, you want to keep people in the game by coaching them. So coaching them then takes them back around the flywheel, reminds them of the inspiration, what the opportunity was for them, what they said yes to, what they're working on. You replan, and then that kind of feeds itself. That's why it's a flywheel.
Fantastic. Makes a lot more sense now. Thank you so much. And what is one valuable resource that you can share with people to help them get started?
Well, so our podcast, there's hundreds and hundreds of episodes now on all these subjects of leadership and more. All that is for free, wherever you get your content, the Scaling Up Business Podcast, or go to our website, scalingcoach.com.
Fantastic. And what I'll do as well is I'll drop those 2 links into the show notes. People can click on those and dive right in.
Fantastic.
Excellent. So quick question then about yourself. What would you say is one of your greatest either mistakes or failures you've made either in life or business, and what did you learn from it?
So I would say that I nearly ruined my marriage, my family, and trashed all my businesses
Mhm.
um, some years ago when I thought that I could just keep leaning on my core strengths.
Yeah.
So as a leader, I'd always been pretty smart and creative and articulate, but that didn't carry the day. And it wasn't until I thought about like the end of my life that I realized what was missing was other people. It wasn't about being richer, accomplishing more, doing things, or all that. It was about being connected and generous with human beings, right? And leaving a legacy of something that I was proud of. That's probably the biggest mistake, and it really it nearly cost me too much focus on myself and not
Mhm.
enough on others.
Fantastic. Love that. And the last question from me today is, what is the one question that I should have asked you that'll also bring some great value to our audience today?
Well, I suppose the thing is like is is it really a sacrifice, right? And I would say it's not. Like you could have the things that you love, the things that are selfish and indulgent, the playful side of things, if you'll also be about the things that you want to leave behind, the
Yeah.
legacy. That purpose-centered stuff and the playful stuff can actually work together, and when you have all that working together, you truly find yourself living and working in the zone, if you will, right? Like at a higher state.
Fantastic. And that sounds like a great place for our guests to get one day. So, Bill, thanks again so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming along.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.